Gentlemen, the time has officially come, and this has been something that has been in talks, that has been in really, it's kind of been a process a little bit. And there it is. There it is. It has been in the works for quite a few months now. And if you guys have paid attention or have followed the Unofficial Steelers podcast, you would know somebody in that podcast, someone who is a menace, somebody who is a walking headache, somebody who thinks he knows it all, but someone who has been my best friend since the 4th grade. And we have been wanting to create our own show together. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you know me, I'm Nathan Heinz. If you guys are new to this podcast, now you know me. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Z himself, the walking contradiction, Zachary Hutchings. There he is. There he is. On the ground. Guy stubbed his toe.
I got one thing to say, and I got one single thing to say.
Yep. What is that?
And anybody who doesn't know about the culture will not understand, but there's one thing to say to start this off, and that's
Yep.
And if you're not with it, then don't stick around.
If you're not with it, don't stick around. Can't hang, can't bang.
Simple as that.
It's simple as that. But guys, for those who are from, yeah, it's good to be here. Z, it is good to actually finally get this podcast going. It's been delay after delay from you, and it feels.
Don't worry, I got my smoothie right here.
Yeah, you got your smoothie, the same smoothie that you make every morning, and there's no results.
Yeah, yeah. And it's not my fault that freaking Pablo Sanchez at the Keeler dealership charged me $1,900 for a new motor for my brakes.
That's why you don't do it at the dealership, Z.
And a fuel system cleaning. I don't even know what it does for my car, but it had to be done. So his name was actually Pablo. I'm actually not even kidding.
Well, that sounds about right.
If you played backyard baseball, you would know who Pablo Sanchez is.
Yeah, backyard baseball. The good old days, But Z, you can't sit here and say it doesn't feel good to actually be behind the mic and actually have this podcast that we've been talking about for a few months now come to fruition.
It does, and it's done. It does. It's been a long time coming. It's been an absolute migraine trying to deal with it. But we're here. It's good to be here. But one thing I said to Nate, not when we got the PS5, but when I got the Xbox One way back when, there's something I said, don't show me the receipt. And it's the same thing that applies now. I don't want to see the receipt for everything I bought because it doesn't matter.
I'll never forget that. You bought the Xbox One in 2018, I believe, correct?
I think so, yeah.
Yep, 2018.
First game we got was Black Ops 4.
Yeah, it was. And you bought the Xbox in 2018. I already had it like when it probably first came out, but it seemed like you were a little bit on a hiatus in terms of gaming. And
I don't know why.
Yeah, not really sure why either, Z. But I'll never forget that. You went and you told him to not show you the receipt. I'll never forget that. So same applies to the PS5. Same applies to this.
Yeah, it is a literal true story. I was at the GameStop. I got the Xbox One bundle with NBA 2K18, which was a god awful game, and then I got Black Ops 4. I got a headset. I got everything that was in that store, and I literally told the cashier not show me the receipt.
Yep.
So, but here we are
never
today.
Forget that.
Yeah.
So I want to say before we get kickstarted here, for those who are from my channel, in hindsight, I will be promoting this on my channel as well. Welcome. We appreciate your support. Appreciate you tuning in. But this is going to be different. This isn't a podcast that's about Pittsburgh sports. This isn't a podcast that's about
not. God forbid.
Yeah, God forbid. This isn't a podcast about something in particular. This is really something that's going to be about probably quite a handful of things. We're definitely going to talk about sports, obviously. We're both big sports fans. But we'll also be talking about other things, stuff going on in the world, video games, entertainment, And really, we're just going to really be talking about anything that really kind of pops up, things on the fly, and everything like that. So we're just going to have fun with it. We're going to enjoy it.
That's right.
And we hope that you guys get some good entertainment and enjoyment out of it. For those that are new, for those that have just come across this, for those we know that have subscribed, we appreciate your support and appreciate you a part of this journey. And this could be a weekly thing. We don't really think we have a set day in terms of a weekly day thing. Both our schedules kind of sometimes get flip-flopped here and there. But so what we'll do is whenever there's new episodes, we'll obviously promote it beforehand. We'll promote it on the YouTube channel here. And that's just kind of going to be how it is going forward. We're not going to have a set day. So if we can at least do this once or twice a week, that's what we're going to do. So just stay on the lookout for that. You guys can follow us if you guys want to follow my Twitter, Nate_Heinz, Instagram, Nathan_Heinz, to keep up with the channel. You can follow Z at The Walking Hypocrite on Twitch. No, I'm just kidding. You guys, you want me to promote the Twitch channel or no?
Yeah. Well, all my Twitch followers are a joke. I'll say it live on air.
And there it is. You guys heard it here. The Twitch followers are a joke, and that is a true statement. But on Twitch, if you want to follow him, he's starting to stream Hogwarts Legacy, which we will kind of start off with. But you guys can follow his Twitch at MythicalJazzy. You guys can follow his Instagram at ZHutchings120. I believe that's what it is, right?
That is what it is. Yep.
ZHutchings120. And you just really follow those things if you want to be up to date when the next podcasts are coming out.
See, I will say.
Go ahead, Z. Go ahead.
Yeah, I will say this. When it comes to the Twitch stream, which doesn't really matter at this exact moment, but and likes to take credit for me starting my stream, even though he has 20 followers on Twitch and I have 170. However, the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because him and I used to stream all the time. We would stream a plethora of games, from NHL to It Takes Two to COD to et cetera, until Nate would start getting clapped in every single game we would play. And now the only thing we stream together is really NBA 2K.
Yeah. Anyway, when it comes to my Twitch channel, I haven't streamed in 2 years. I started it. I streamed for probably about 5 months. And then that's when I drifted off into starting my podcast. So I got busy with that, and I just didn't really care to do the streaming gaming.
But if you guys want to hang around with us, exactly. If you guys want to hang around with us more, really until Nate and I start doing live podcasts on YouTube. If you guys want to hang around with us more, you can. We do live streams on Twitch, so it's always a good time in there, regardless of what game we play.
It is. Yeah, it is. So if you want to hop in the chat, have some conversation. Sometimes I'm even in there if I'm not playing with Z. It's always a good time. Speaking of gaming, though, this is one thing that we were going to talk about on the show.
Gaming is dead, and it's dead.
Yeah, it's dead. Something that we were going to talk about coming into this, and it's fairly new. It's been getting a lot of buzz. It's taking over as one of the highly regarded games in recent memory, Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah.
Z has been streaming that on Twitch. And so Z, what do you think about this new Harry Potter game that's coming out? We know there's a lot of Harry Potter fans out there. We know that there's a lot of fake wizards out there at Universal Studios in Orlando.
Yeah, there it is.
Bunch of kids that think that they're wizards because they have a wand.
This is a true story, ladies and gentlemen.
Doesn't work. So if you're hearing this, you're not a
wizard.
It's
all motion censored.
You got to grow up. You're not a wizard. But nonetheless here. Hogwarts looks great. The graphics are great. The developers did a great job at really paying attention to detail. You can really almost go anywhere, it seems like. So Z has been streaming it on his Twitch. Z, is there anything that you want to talk about when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy streaming?
Sure. And the first thing I'm going to start out with, N, is that you should not hate on people that buy wands or any Gryffindor, Slytherin gowns at Islands of Adventure or Universal, because there's nothing wrong with it. And
never said there's anything wrong with it, Z.
Well, every time we go to Universal and makes fun of them, so
make fun.
Yeah.
It's all fun and jokes, guys. All fun and jokes, not personal.
Yeah, it is. Make sure you guys have a sense of humor if you're in here.
We know there's a bunch of brick walls out there in this world.
There's a lot of them, Ed. There's a lot of them.
Yep.
There's a lot of people that shower with the mask on. So, but in reference to Hogwarts Legacy, I don't really even know where to start, man. Uh, I think I'm a little bit unfamiliar when it comes to open world games because I've only played one before this, so I don't really know. I never even played The Last of Us. I mean, what other
Great
open
game.
world games? I mean,
Both of
Skyrim. I
them.
mean, et cetera, et cetera. This is like the real. I mean, other than Horizon Forbidden West, that's the first open world game that I played, and I played fully. So, um, if we're just talking about visual aspects of the game, I mean, it's probably the most beautiful game I've probably ever played in my life. Uh, I've only had 2 streams of it. I've only played like 4 or 5 hours, but every second of it's been. I don't know, what would you say? I would use the term jaw dropping. Yeah, I would say it's that next level of a game. So if you guys
Yeah.
are into gaming, or especially if you're into Harry Potter, God, I mean, I think it's got to be worth it. It's got to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's one thing is that I was on the fence of getting it. And as I've told Z, the reason why I'm not buying it is just because I'm not a big enough Harry Potter fan where I feel like I can fully enjoy the game for all that it is.
That's fine.
And I would rather watch somebody play it and kind of really see the story and really how everything goes than myself spend $70 and I don't really find myself playing it as much as I should or
Yeah.
really grasping everything, understanding everything. But nonetheless, that's definitely have to say with really you look at overall the years how gaming has changed in terms of realism and graphically.
Do we dare get into Call of Duty?
Well, it's coming, Z, it's coming.
Yeah.
But when you talk about really from a realism graphical standpoint of a lot of these open world games, it just makes you think, what are they going to look like in 10 years?
Right.
So it's really wild to think. And I would probably say The Last of Us was probably my favorite open world game.
Yeah.
Great story, just great characters that you get yourself invested in. But continuing on with really the gaming aspect of everything, something that we know that there's a big community of you guys watching might be fans yourself, might be playing yourself. It's Call of Duty, and we know that Call of Duty has been an absolute disaster for the last 7 years. It's been an absolute disaster, and
When was the last good Call of Duty? Yeah.
I would say the last good Call of Duty, Black
Get
Ops
ready.
2.
Yeah, there it is. That's a long time ago.
It is a long
That is
time.
a long
Now,
time ago.
now that's not me saying that there aren't a couple that weren't bad or decent or
Yeah.
average
Yeah.
that were still playable through the year. But the
Right.
last good Call of Duty that all around the community liked, that was well done and really aspect was probably Black Ops 2. And that was when was that? 2013?
God. Um, I think so. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
But I played that game. See, what's funny is I played that game for so long that I was still playing that even when like there'd be hackers in the lobby. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. You're
but
one of
I,
them.
yeah, yeah. Try to get my account banned while you're at it.
Okay, enjoy the band, Z.
Yeah, enjoy the ban. That that is a message I got from somebody on the good old Xbox when Ed and I played on there, and I play on the PS5 now. Thank God.
Yep.
But yeah, someone sent me a message one time that said enjoy the ban, and that's
Yeah, because what happened when were we playing COD?
yeah, we were playing BO4.
We were playing Black Ops 4 back in 2018 when that game came out, and
Like
some
2019.
kid got really tight and
Oh,
sent Z that he was getting reported.
yeah, yeah.
And Z said something back, and then the kid was like, "Hey, enjoy the band."
Enjoy the ban. Well, at the end of the day, I didn't get banned, and
Oh, that's freaking
oh,
incredible.
I'll tell you what. We can go on and on about the stories we have in BO4, especially playing with Al. Um, I mean, just play like a man, and that's all
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think of when we play
Shout
with
out to you,
him.
Al, if you're watching this.
Yeah, play like a man.
Yeah,
Uh, but really, ever since BO4, when we played really the hell out of that game, uh, and went on like a 3-year hiatus of Call of Duty, and I mean, he still is kind of on a hiatus. He barely plays MW2. Every yeah, he did. He got it for free. He got it for free, and we're not going to shout out who it was yet because he has no idea. And
he has no idea. He has no idea.
He might even be watching
free.
this, and he might have no idea.
Yeah, he might be watching. He has no idea.
He got no idea. Oh man. Anyways, before we freaking get a comment on the video saying enjoy the ban again. Speaking of Call of Duty, I have the Call of Duty League on to my right. So if I look over to the side, sometimes you guys know what I'm looking at.
Yep. This is everybody in the Call of Duty League right here.
Yeah.
I to the screen.
Yeah, never forget. If this is the screen, like right here, right? This would be them.
That's why half of them wear glasses.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong.
Yeah, but it's a shame though with COD because it was a great franchise. It was a great game year after year, and it seemed like that they kind of raised the bar year after year. Back when you had Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2. So really that stretch of like 4 or 5 years was fantastic. You can even add World at War in there. That was a great game. So you can add 6 years right there. Yeah. And Black Ops 4, I still enjoyed it. It wasn't really that great, but I don't think it was bad. I honestly kind of thought it was like a little bit of an okay game, but it was still really fun.
Yeah.
And you look at really what Call of Duty's been now. My biggest gripe with Call of Duty now is that it's not memorable. Year after year, it's not memorable anymore. There's no maps that are memorable. There's no guns that are memorable. What's that?
I said, speak for yourself.
Yeah, speak for myself. I would love to know, Z, what any of these last 4 Call of Duty games, how any of these make the list from good to great to elite. Let me know.
I'll tell you what, then.
Not even close.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I've never agreed, or I've never defended the last Call of Duties for the last 4 years of Call of Duty. I've never defended it. I've said it's been, they've been disappointments.
Freaking beaks touching the freaking filter.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. And here we go already. So, yep. And here we go. I don't even know what I'm doing here. Yep.
Why are you here? See, why are you here?
I really don't know.
Continue on.
Well, I got nothing else to say. And I went to my first Call of Duty event last year. I had an absolutely amazing time. You saw me live on air. You saw me.
I did.
Yep. I was standing up. I was having a great time. I went to one in New York. I went to one in LA. It was an unbelievable time. Yep. But obviously, we don't need to speak any further on Call of Duty because we know it's not in the prime like it once was.
No, I don't think it ever will be.
Nope. But let me ask you this: Would you rather play Call of Duty today, or would you rather play? God, I don't know. Or would you rather play on the Wii?
I'll take Wii Sports.
Wii Sports,
yeah. Yeah. The thing with Call of Duty is that after the first month, the game's dead. The game's dead. It's a dead game. It is.
Record viewership this last weekend, then.
Yeah. Well, it's because nobody else has anything better to do. even the people playing in the Call of Duty League know the game sucks.
Yeah, hand in the Cheeto bag. That's what Ann always says. Nope.
It's a reality, Z. It really is a reality.
It is.
But I think it's a great thing Call of Duty is stepping away for 2 years from making a game and actually focusing on. It's really not that difficult.
Warzone killed the game. Warzone killed the game.
What?
Warzone. It killed.
Yeah,
it
Warzone
killed the game.
The game. Warzone was fun when it first came out.
Yeah.
But really, them being so heavily into that, rather than all the other aspects of the Call of Duty game, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Right.
But in terms of when they make their next Call of Duty game in 2 years, go back to the blueprints. I'm not saying make a carbon copy, remaster, or anything. Just go back to the blueprints of what made Modern Warfare's, Black Ops good, great. Go back to those blueprints.
100%.
Hit detection's been an absolute disaster for years. Spawning is a disaster for all.
They're not going to know what that means. And they're not going to know what that means. Unless anybody,
I shouldn't be putting 8 bullets into somebody's head and he's still walking around the map. Let me just put it that way.
Oh,
the maps are not memorable. The maps are bland and basic. There's nothing really ultimately fun about them. When you creating a class, they go way overboard. You shouldn't be investing half an hour into what kind of stock you want to put on your gun when they give you 20 different ones, 15 different grips, 38 different scopes, freaking you name it, 28 different lasers on the gun, under barrels.
Yeah.
You don't need that.
Yeah.
Go back to the basics, the good formula, the blueprint of the game. Make it your own in modern day. It's not a difficult concept. So we know Call of Duty is a disaster. We know it has been for years. I'll still play it just for fun because it's still fun playing with Z. But the game's ass. The game's ass, and it will continue to be ass. So until there's change, and I think a lot of it has to do with new development in there. People that don't really know the foundation of what Call of Duty was back in the day.
Right.
Oh,
Vondahar.
That's all I gotta say.
JD from NY. That is not a shout out because he is a disgrace.
Yeah, there it is. And I hope that he comes across this video. JD, I'm a fan of yours, man. This guy's not. He's the one that told you to interact with your audience on Twitch 3 years ago, and you got pissed and blocked him. So that's
man, he got angry. And you know what's funny is I wasn't even really coming at the guy. I was just like, I just saw people donating to his channel and subscribing to his channel live on stream, and there was no thank you. There was no interaction. I mean, I strive to never be like that. Point blank.
Yeah. And then once he said interact with your audience, then he started talking.
Yeah. He was just like this, you know. I mean, he was just sitting there playing video games, not saying one word. Right here on the screen, subscription, people donating to him, everything. He's just looking at it, and he goes back. He looks at it again. He goes back, not acknowledging anybody. And so what did I say in the stream? I said, interact with your audience. And I think I ruined, I might have ruined his year end.
See, after he blocked you, he kept going on.
Yeah. There are probably like maybe 2,000 people in the stream.
Yeah.
And he wasn't interact with anybody until he saw my message saying interact with your audience. Yeah. And that's all I said. I didn't say anything else, and he blocked me.
Z to this day is still banned.
Yeah, I am. I'll never support him. I'll never support him. His videos are funny. His Call of Duty videos, his Mario Kart videos. But yeah, no. JD from NY.
Yep. Follow him on YouTube, guys. He has good content.
Yeah, sure.
But really, when it comes to gaming too, the big thing that Z and I have always been big on playing with each other on Xbox or PlayStation, whatever it is really all the sport games. We would play Madden, NBA, NHL, MLB, all the 4 games.
Yeah.
And back in the day, the games were, it's honestly similar to Call of Duty, where sport games back in the day were fun, enjoyable. You had things in the game that kept you playing it throughout the year. Now we just see it's carbon copy, rinse and repeat, whatever they can do to make money. And that's why we don't even always buy these games every year anymore. NHL, we bought NHL back in 2019, and we bought NHL for a couple years there. Rinse and repeat. And I told him, I said, I'm not buying it till there's change. Madden, same thing. NBA, we've bought in the last 2 NBA games, and there's some issues with the gameplay, but the credit I give NBA 2K is that they still put effort into their game, and they still make it playable through the year. So like, for example, my career, I'm not big on my career mode because to me, it's too much cinema. It's too movie-like. It's too GTA-like. And I want there to be story in the game, but at the same time, I want to actually be playing. I don't want to be running all around through the town, trying to find this shop on a skateboard to buy a
Tony Hawk Pro Skater. You might as well call it. You might as well play that game.
That's what the game is. So Career mode is too much for me, but they added the Jordan Challenge in this year's game, obviously, because 23. One thing that they did this year that was honestly really exceptional that no other sport games did was add My Eras, which is a take on franchise mode, but you can start in 3 different eras and really rewrite history. And it was honestly, I played it quite a few times, and it was honestly really fun. It was really fun a lot of times, kept me occupied and stuff like that. But from a graphical standpoint, presentation, commentary, it blows the other sport games out of the water. It really does. I think there's no debate in that.
Yeah.
Gameplay still has its issues. We shouldn't be missing layups left and right. The shot meter's a joke. It got absolute worse. Yeah, there it is. There it is. There it is.
So what I'm just showing there, and you guys can go ahead and look at that all you want. But what that is right there, because it's really the only thing I really have to say on the sport games. Everything you said is appropriate and correct. I don't disagree with anything you just said. But the only thing I have to say, especially when it comes to 2K, is N is 18 games down the series. Yeah. So the series is over. There's probably a couple months left in it.
There's 4 Z. There's 4.
Yeah, it was 4 months. You said there was 6 months ago, and you said that for about 12 months. So when will this series end?
Yeah, well, Z, it's going to end in May.
Thank God.
That's exactly what I'm saying. We're in February, March, April, May, so we're 3 months.
Thank God. Well, before we make the transition from video games to the present day, I want to just say, I know, and kind of dedicated a message to everybody at the start of this video. But I want to say it was a long time coming for us to really start this up. We've had a lot of support from our friends to start up this podcast and stuff. So to whoever will be tuning in this first episode, just kind of like what Ann said, I hope we can really kind of give you guys a laugh, give you guys an up when you guys have a down day. You feel me?
Yep.
So that's what's all about. Ann and I know each other like the freaking back of our hand. This guy has an absolute freaking World War II in the bathroom every single morning and night.
Yep. He's got to go in the shower to clean himself off.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But on the real, we hope you guys do enjoy what we're going to begin, what we're going to do. This is just the first of many thousands, millions, who knows? Yep. And who knows where this is going to take us. But what it's all about is we hope to give you guys, really a time of your day to, get away of whatever you got going on in your life. So I want to just kind of throw that message out first to appreciate anybody who supports us. And yeah, so, and I want to transition this into the second thing that we were going to talk about in our video, which is still sports related, and that's Kevin Durant going to the Suns. So thoughts, questions, concerns, comments, go ahead.
Well, Jason, I really could use a Sprite.
And there it is. There it is.
Jason is my girlfriend. Obviously, Jason is not her real name, but
it's Travis.
It's Travis. She gets a handful of nicknames from us, and if you guys knew us personally, you know that really anybody at the end of the day that is a part of our group, you guys know yourselves. You guys have more than 2 nicknames. So
yeah.
Z's dog has 15. So
he might have more.
He might have more. He might. And you will see him on the podcast one day.
Yeah, if I could pull up a picture of him, I'll go ahead and do that.
Most selfish animal you will ever see in your life.
Yeah, and Annette doesn't see an issue.
Annette does not see an issue. And she is the reason why he is the way he is.
And this right there.
That is Barry, ladies and gentlemen. That is Barry.
That right there is Dustin.
Dustin.
So,
that is Sabonis. See,
that's Sabonis. That's John Deere.
Yep. Dicko.
Dicko. Dick. Yeah, I mean, and there's another one right there.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Now I know a lot of you guys are gonna see that might not know.
Barry
His
Fairy
name's
Jerry Barry Harry.
a lot of you guys. If you guys don't know his name is Tito. That's his name. We've had him for probably 4 years now.
Titus.
Yeah, Titusville. uh, yeah, he's a big dog. He's a big dog. He's like 110 pounds.
Yeah, yeah, he
And a
is.
lot of,
Eats anything you'd give him.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of you guys might kind of look at him and say how cute he is, and oh, he's a
Guy
golden
wears a
retriever.
harness.
Yep, yeah. He wears a harness. Now it kind of might sound like any typical dog, but yeah, no, he is the most selfish animal you will really ever meet in your life, and he is just he'll never get trained in. He'll never get trained.
No, he won't.
No, he won't.
Guy eats a whole cake,
Yeah,
steaks,
a whole chicken breast.
a whole chicken breast.
Oh God, you go on and on.
Half your sandwich.
Yeah. I don't even need to get into that story. I think the only time we get into that story is when he's going to be sitting right here behind me.
Yeah, that's gonna be
because one of these episodes, guys, he's going to be sitting right here, and then you guys can see for yourself the kind of selfish animal this guy is.
Yeah, it really is, and it's honestly an understatement.
Yeah, there was a time where Ed and I always play this game with him on the couch where it's like monkey in the middle, and we just toss the ball back and forth. and he, very quickly, like the snap of a finger, he'll get going and start jumping back and forth, right? Any dog, gets their little puppy uppers and gets excited about whatever, right? But this guy is just different.
Yeah.
And there was this time where Ed and I were playing, and this guy full on fell backward and landed on his neck. I
thought he might have snapped his neck. Guy needs a neck brace. Oh my God.
Oh man, I'm crying. Oh, I'm crying.
Dude, that was amazing. I really
yeah, I mean, we laugh about it, but I don't it was just I don't want to say anymore because I don't want to piss off any dog lovers here.
Yep.
We take care of the guy.
We love Tito, and he was okay, but it was just an unbelievable moment.
It's just, I mean, the guy bends like a pretzel.
He does.
Yeah. But anyways, that's Tito. So one of these times, he'll be in the background of the video, and you guys will be.
There's plenty of more stories that will be told.
Oh, plenty of them, and you guys will be introduced to him. But go ahead. On the, Ed and I were Suns fans. Growing up, the Phoenix Suns. If you guys don't know, they're an NBA basketball team. Ed and I, we grew up in Arizona with each other. That's how we know each other. We grew up elementary, middle school, high school. We grew up in Arizona, so. Obviously, being big sports fans, we watched the Phoenix Suns, we watched the Arizona Diamondbacks, Arizona Coyotes. So,
yeah, the Coyotes.
Yeah, well,
I never watched them.
Yeah, well, did you ever go to a Coyotes game, man? When you lived in Arizona?
I went to one.
Yeah, against who?
Don't remember.
Yeah. Anyways, the point I'm making is, the team we watched the most was the Phoenix Suns. No question about it. And one of these times, I'm going to replace this Coyotes poster with the Steve Nash jersey that N got me. And so really what we're going to get to here is the Suns made the biggest move that we've, in our lifetime, trading for Kevin Durant. And,
I'd say it's the biggest move in Suns history.
You think so?
Yeah, over Charles Barkley. Yeah, I do.
All right, I agree. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get into that. And this is, pretty big news, not only for the whole NBA, but obviously for the Phoenix Suns and their franchise. What do you think? What are the Suns going to accomplish with him? Yeah, let's start with that.
Well, something that I will say before I start that is that being a big Suns fan growing up, I really did not like the direction the organization was going. and I started to kind of really sour on them. I still wanted them to do well, but really the Miami Heat ended up kind of taking over as my favorite team, kind of like in 6th grade. Before LeBron went there, guys, cry about it. Before he went there, I really just liked watching them and Dwayne Wade and stuff like that. So they were kind of that other team, but then they started to kind of overtake that. So still want him to do well, but Robert Sarver, good riddance.
See
That's all
ya.
we got to say. All we got to say
See you
on that.
later.
But
Disgusting human being.
and so he absolutely destroyed the organization. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh yeah.
But really, for several years, the Suns were in just absolute purgatory, could not get anything figured out. Future was not good. But I still wanted them to do well. So really, fast forward to this point, I'm not really a Suns or Heat fan the way I used to be, but I still support them. I still root for them. I still want
And
them to
did
do
hop on the
well.
bandwagon when the Suns went to the finals a couple years ago.
Yeah, I hopped on the bandwagon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did. He did.
definitely didn't. Z definitely did not.
Yep.
There was no bandwagon to hop on.
Yeah, yeah.
So, even before that, I still wanted them to do well and to get to the point where they wanted to get to. And I think really a big reason why I'm not really the fan of those teams that I was is just because my disinterest in the NBA over the years. And it was hard when I'm not really caring or invested in the NBA. It's kind of hard to really for myself to be invested in the couple teams that I liked.
Absolutely.
But so, like I said, still to this day, I still support them and root for them. And I would still say I have a fandom of them, but I don't really have that the way I used to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that's just simply because of my ultimate lack of fandom for the NBA anymore. And we know why, Z. The NBA was an absolute disgrace from 2015 all the way to 2020. It was an absolute disgrace.
It was terrible to watch.
It was terrible. It was terrible. As predictable as it came. Super team after super team. There wasn't really young talent coming up. It was a snooze fest. It really was. It was an absolute sleep fest. You have all these role players that are irrelevant getting these big ass contracts for no reason. But then you have some of these younger guys like Morant, Doncic, Tatum, and stuff like that kind of start to take off. Embiid, the Joker, Z's favorite player in the league. Those guys start to come up and make their way in the league, and that's a great thing. That's what the league needed, something they did not have. But even to this point, like there's just to me that there's a lack there in a handful of things. And there's a lack of you have the play-in tournament, which I'm not a fan of. You have I don't agree with a 10 seed getting an opportunity to make the playoff. A team that won 35 games getting an opportunity to make playoff. Whatever sense that makes. You have to me, you have a lot of young, good talent, but you have a lack of stars in the NBA. And I feel like once LeBron's gone, Durant's gone, really who's going to take that mantle? And I just don't really think we're going to see guys like that for a while. And when we grew up, you had a plethora of guys that just the average person would know.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe other than Giannis, like I feel like everybody that are some of these young upcoming guys, they're just all kind of right there, kind of with each other, and they haven't quite taken off in the level of like the LeBrons, the Dirks, the Garnetts, the AIs, the McGrady's, Kobe, sure, the Shaqs, all those guys. And to me, the thing that I do like more is that the conferences have finally become balanced again, which is a great thing for the league. It's healthy for the league. But overall, in general, to me, there's just still a lack there. And I think the biggest thing for me is I just don't like the way the NBA has changed. 3-ball city. It's
ads on the jerseys.
Yeah, ads on the jerseys, ads on the courts. You have freaking all these random irrelevants that just pop up year after year on these teams that nobody knows who they are. You have to me, there's a lack. One of the other lacks that I can say is a lack of just straight fundamental basketball. I miss the pick and rolls. I miss the team oriented play. You have a lot of isolations. You have a lot of athleticism, which is fine, but I feel like a lot of athleticism overtakes just pure talent of basketball in the league. You don't have big men anymore. You don't have dominant guys in the paint. No more dominant guys in the post playing through guys like that anymore. It's just guys who on a fast break pop out to the three, shooting 30 plus threes a game. And I'm not saying that's every single game, but I'm saying that's just such a big focal point is shooting, big men shooting. Freaking Robin Lopez is shooting threes now. Like, what the hell? And just me personally, I'm not a fan of that. And that's why I gravitate more toward college basketball because it's still that team oriented type play. Feed the guy in the post, pick and rolls, give and goes, whatever it is. I'm just more of a core based type of basketball. But again, that's what I grew up with. And I'm not saying the league always has to stay like that. Of course, really, you look at sports all around, leagues have changed. And there's still times I'll tune into NBA games, but I think that's just really the biggest thing for me personally is just really how different the NBA game has changed. And to me, I think it's changed for the worse. But aside from that, just kind of wanting to give you guys a perspective on my fandom so you kind of know, and really my perspective on today's NBA. I have said that the Suns have needed to get somebody that really since their 2025 or their 2021 NBA Finals loss to the Bucks, they needed to get somebody that isn't just going to be somebody that help them right in the regular season. Once they started facing some of these other teams in the playoffs on a weekly basis, best of 7, they needed somebody that was athletic, that was physical, that could spread the floor a little bit. And you had, when they faced the Bucks, all you had was Ayton. They didn't have anybody in there to rim protect. They didn't have anybody in there of defending Giannis. They didn't have anybody at all.
If Dario was healthy.
Yeah, Dario. There's a reason he's riding the bench on the Thunder, Z.
Yeah.
But I said in free agency, I said I would have let Ayton walk, and I felt they needed to bring somebody in alongside Devin Booker to provide for scoring, and you go get a rim protecting type big man. So they brought back Ayton. Okay, whatever. They were playing pretty well up till Booker got hurt, but then he got hurt and Paul got hurt and Ayton was getting hurt and they were struggling. Then they started to come back and they were still struggling. So they finally went out and made a play that is probably, in our opinions, the biggest trade in Suns history, getting a guy like Kevin Durant. And he's going to automatically come in, make an impact. He's going to help with scoring alongside Devin Booker. They kept Ayton. They have Paul there. Now they had to give up Bridges and Johnson, who are two fine players in their own, but they gave up a lot of draft picks as well. So their bench kind of took a little bit of a hit, but signing Terrence Ross wasn't necessarily a bad signing at all. And to me, I just think that this is a much better team than what they had before, because to me, the way the Suns had their team is almost identical pretty much to how they had it in the finals. There was no upgrade at forward. There was no physicality that needed. There was no defensive presence that was needed. And bringing a guy like Kevin Durant brings a little bit of that, but brings a lot of scoring that really only Devin Booker gave you consistently. And now you can have more leeway offensively. And you have a guy like Durant who is already an all-time great. And when you have that going against some of these other teams in the West, to me, that puts them over the top. I don't care what anybody says. And it was a move that needed to be done. It was a trade that needed to be done. It was something that even Durant wanted. But the Suns needed to do something like this, because if they kept the same team, to me, they weren't going to get over the hump. They weren't. And now a guy like Durant, not necessarily saying maybe for this season, but I think they will win a championship with him for at least throughout the next 3 to 4 years that he's under contract for. But this was a move that is ultimately, I at least think, can take Phoenix to the conference finals this season. But this is also a more longer term move, because if they didn't make this trade, them sticking with the same status quo wasn't going to get them anywhere.
No.
And even they didn't even necessarily have to trade for Durant, in my opinion. I was just saying, hey, go out and get a forward, go out and get a John Collins, go out and get somebody like that can bring some versatility, that can bring a little bit of size. That's an upgrade over Torrey Craig. You needed somebody like that, and they were in on John Collins.
Yeah,
there were
you don't like Torrey Craig again?
There. What's that?
You don't like Torrey Craig?
Yeah, Torrey Craig. Yeah, yawn. But the Durant move was obviously something that honestly kind of came out of nowhere. It came out at freaking 1 a.m. So,
yeah.
But it's a big time move. It was a move I didn't really expect to happen, but the fact that they did that, I mean, that takes them from here, kind of in the middle of the West, all the way up to up here.
Yeah. You know, we're going to have those 2020 NBA fans, and
those are some of the worst fans.
And what I'm going to say is going to be something that could be, controversial, but I think I have a valid point behind it, which is where I love that the Suns traded for Kevin Durant. I love that the Suns have a new culture with a new owner and everything that they're bringing into the organization. I love how, they're spending money and they have big names on the team, and it brings popularity and profit and everything that comes into a sports team.
Yep.
Right. But if there's one thing I'm going to bring up, and I'm going to bring up the reality, right? And that's these. How do you want to put it? I don't know if I would say the Suns a super team, right? But if we're just looking up and down the roster, you could say that kind of. Booker, Durant, Paul, Ayton, right? And I look at teams similar to that, right? I look at the Nets when they had Harden and Kyrie and Durant, right? I can go on and on here. I can look at the Timberwolves that have Karl-Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert and when they had D'Angelo Russell. The Nets again when they had Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett, right? Yeah. I could go on and on. Listen, guys, it's not guaranteed to work.
Yeah,
it's not. All because you bring one of the best NBA players of all time onto the team. That doesn't guarantee it's going to work. There's a lot more things that go into it, and than just bringing some guy on the roster and expecting a championship to be brought to the team, to the city, right? Do I think it'll happen? I do, but part of me does not think it will happen. It has nothing to do with Kevin Durant and his injury history. Devin Booker being injured this season has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with the longevity of how long these guys will stay together. I don't know. I just have a bad taste in my mouth from seeing these teams be built together the last few years. And a lot of them just had zero success.
Yeah.
Zero. And I think it's a fair point to bring up. Do we know if Kevin Durant on the Suns is going to succeed? Do we know if it's going to last? Right? Who knows? Yeah. Next year, what if he requests another trade?
Yeah. Right? Might as well bring Kyrie and then Z, have them both request a trade.
I mean, at this point, I'm not coming at Kevin Durant's character because I don't know if he requested a trade or not. I can't really remember. Did he?
He did last year.
Oh, he did last year. But as we know, it seems like an occurring theme. And Kyrie is definitely one of those guys.
Yeah.
Where these star players go to new teams and they want to get traded.
Right.
And the next year they want to get traded. And they want to get traded again. Like they just can't be happy where they are. And it's like, and it's annoying. It's annoying. It's, because that's not how the NBA used to be. But we're in a different era. We're in a different era. We're in the era of social media. We're in the era of there are advertisements and on the court, on the jerseys, it's going to be there probably forever. Right. And I know that's not the basketball we grew up on. but it's the basketball we've adapted to. And I don't know. I really, the point I'm getting across is I do hope this Kevin Durant trade, point blank just brings a championship to Phoenix, because all the days of Charles Barkley to Steve Nash and Amari to trading for Shaq to going to the finals a couple years
Absolute
ago.
mess.
Yeah, that was the downfall of the organization when they traded for Shaq. So
Yeah, it was.
although 2 years later I thought that was the best season I've watched from the Suns, even better than
without Shaq.
That was without Shaq.
Yep.
Yeah, I think that season I had the most fun watching them, even over the days when they had Sean Marion on the team. I had more fun watching the Suns that 2009, 2010 season. But anyways, the moral of the story is that I do love the Kevin Durant trade. I do. I love it. I think it.
We know D doesn't.
Yeah, well,
he's just a veteran.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, my sister Danielle, right? But when Kevin Durant when the Suns made the trade for Kevin Durant, she said word for word. Should I read the message out loud here? It's sad. It's sad.
Yep.
How far? Oh, here it is. Yeah. Sounds like the end of this, quote unquote, from Danielle. Sounds like the end of the Suns. Phoenix doing what they do best. Finally having a good team. Trade away a large chunk for a veteran. Then the veteran sucks ass, and now we have nothing to bounce back on. And the only thing I said to it is, yeah, Durant is just a veteran.
Yep.
Now, D, if you're watching this, that was an awful take.
Awful take.
That was bad. That was bad, right? Because again, it's not like the Suns traded for some guy who's on the downfall, right? Come on, D. Especially in the NBA, you look at guys, especially like LeBron James, who's almost 38, 39 years old, and the guy still plays like an MVP,
Yep.
D, I know you're 30 and you have zero athletic ability, but
I know you got little Timmy.
Yeah. Actually, shout out D. She's actually she's gonna be giving birth here in probably a few weeks.
Yep.
So yeah, so best of luck there. And and enjoy the cat.
Enjoy the cat. Yep.
Anyways, and I know I said a lot there, but
you're not wrong.
I like the Kevin Durant trade. It makes me nervous because I've seen teams like this in the past that have not worked out.
Well, it's happened in all sports.
All sports. Oh yeah, especially baseball.
Look at the Angels.
Oh God,
Pujols,
Hamilton,
CJ Wilson.
Oh, on and on.
Yeah,
Justin Upton.
Right?
But
Brooklyn Nets in 2012. Pierce, Garnett, Joe Johnson.
Yeah, and I don't want to hear anybody if I see any comment on this video about me being too critical or me being a fake Suns fan, I guarantee you I know more or watched the Suns longer than you have.
Yeah.
So I can be critical about them all I want because I've been through the hard.
People that think Rajon Rondo should be a Hall of Famer.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Ed and I have been through the days of seeing Steve Nash get checked into the scoreboard.
Yeah.
To Stephon Marbury being on the Suns. Just on and on to freaking when Goran Dragic returned the Suns, and God, what a terrible time that was for the Phoenix Suns.
Yeah.
Who's a better all-time Sun, Louis Scola or Jermaine O'Neal?
Oh God.
Or Michael Beasley?
I'm gonna say DJ Strawberry.
Yeah. Well, I do hope the Kevin Durant trade works out. I've probably never been more excited as a Suns fan to, especially awaiting Kevin Durant's debut in a Suns jersey. Would I love to get a Durant jersey? Yeah, absolutely. But of course, I'm nervous because now the Suns have the highest expectations they've ever had, and I do agree with you. I don't think it'll happen this year. I think their best chance of it happening would be next year because Chris Paul. Guess what, guys? Chris Paul, freaking playoff P.
Playoff P.
Ass.
Yep.
Right. He unfortunately he's not getting any younger. So
Yep.
if the Suns are going to win one with Chris Paul being the point guard, then I mean now's the time. This year, next year, there's no other way behind that.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
Yeah, no, I don't really have any predictions for the Suns this year because Kevin Durant he hasn't even played. I mean, once he does play, and then we kind of go more into depth on that after seeing how they play with each other. But as of right now, that's my opinion on it. I'm nervous, but I'm excited. And
Never forget Shaq, Z. Never forget Shaq.
God.
Pointing at the finger.
Yep. Yep. And by the way, right here on the wall, I have a picture of Shaq in a Suns jersey.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah.
And we traded for Shaq, expecting a ring to be delivered, a championship to be delivered to the city of Phoenix, especially when they introduced Shaq and he's up there in the box pointing at his finger. You know?
Yep. The only good thing he offered was jumping in the crowd for entertainment.
That was it.
That was about it.
I mean, what did the Suns accomplish with him, man?
They didn't accomplish anything, Z.
No, they didn't. They didn't. First round against the Spurs. See you later.
Yep.
And then the next year they didn't make the playoffs.
Yeah, next year they didn't make it. So
no.
Absolute waste of time. But Z, I agree. I agree on everything. And I think it's a wait and see, seeing really how Durant meshes with everything, with everybody. But I think that still that it still elevates them this season. It still elevates them longer term. But they have to. It would definitely be a colossal failure if they didn't win a championship.
Oh yeah,
it really.
Oh
would.
yeah. At this point, if it's like if they don't win an NBA Finals with Kevin Durant on the team,
yeah,
I'm just going to accept the fact that for the rest of our lifetime, man, we're not going to see a championship from the Suns.
I think I feel about the Pirates.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, the Pirates.
Yep. Well, we'll be talking about as baseball's starting up soon. So baseball, when it comes to sports, baseball will be something we talk about. NFL offseason is going to be getting underway. So that's going to be something we'll be talking about. Obviously, the rest of the NBA season, maybe a little bit of NHL if there's really anything interesting.
Call of Duty League.
What's that?
The Call of Duty League.
Yeah, the Call of Duty League.
Yeah.
But yeah, guys, this is really how the show's going to go. We know that we went close to an hour here on this, which we have an ideal time for these shows, probably about 20, 25 minutes, usually what we're doing. But I think really for our first episode, we kind of really wanted to really talk and just kind of have fun with it. So that's why we went definitely longer.
Yeah.
But that's really what to expect, guys. We're going to have a couple things that we kind of have a set thing to talk about on each episode. And then we're just going to kind of be going with as the show leads, guys. So that's really what it is. But we're going to end on that, guys. It was fun talking about really everything that we did and had a lot of laughs and everything like that. But guys, this is the first episode of many here. And I have been enjoying the entire, I mean, Z and I, we could probably go on for another couple hours if we wanted to, but we're not going to do that. So, Z's got, he's got some things he's got to do. He's going to be streaming later, but you guys will be seeing this on Monday and everything like that. So like I said, we don't have a set day on when we're going to be doing our shows. It's going to at least be once or twice a week. So that's why we said to follow us. The links will be in the description below. Give us a follow to keep up with things in the channel. Hit the subscribe, guys, on the channel because it helps us grow. It helps us continue to reach more of an audience of people who just enjoy fun, entertaining podcasting. And that's really what
don't be fake followers.
Yep. No fake followers here, guys. No fake followers. So that's really what the show's is about. It's just enjoying, having a fun time, having laughs, talking about things that us personally are passionate about, talking about things that are all as well, that might be interesting to talk about in entertainment or really anything else out there. So, Z, do you have any final words before we log off here?
Not really.
Not really. All right. Well,
not really. Kind of said everything I need to be said.
Yep.
First episode of many, and we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys for part 2.
Yeah, we'll see you guys for episode 2 sometime, whenever that might be. If it's another day this week, if that's next week, that's why we will be promoting it. And like I said, you guys can follow us on our social medias down below to keep up with that. But we'll be back, guys. We'll be back whenever that is, this week, next week, and we'll be talking about some other things. And like I said, a lot of the other stuff we just kind of wing and go with, man. That's just the fun of it. So, but pretty good episode. Pretty good first episode here. It was fun, entertaining, enjoyable. We're excited to keep doing this. So we appreciate your guys' support, and we will see you for next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
See you
guys
N.
later.
He's Z.
Yep.
This is Look at These Guys.
We don't have an outro yet, so
we don't have an outro yet. It's coming, guys. It's coming. The outro's coming. The intro's coming. We're just starting up here. So, but again, appreciate your support. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, and we will see you all either this week or next week. We appreciate it. Take care, everybody, and